Chad Glover with the Red Wing Software. All right, so today we are going to talk about the employee portal. The portal consists of 4 pieces: the time clock, publish pay advices, self-serve, and quick links. So we're going to go ahead and start in the time clock today. So if I click on time clock, I have a clock in and clock out, activity, history, time off request, and an audit log. So I think we'll just go through these one at a time here today. First off, the clock in and clock out. Okay, so this would be where the employee would go to clock in and clock out. Pretty simple to clock in. We'll go ahead and click clock in. Okay. When the employee goes to clock out, there are some different settings that you can set in CenterPoint itself. You can set up automatic unpaid lunch breaks. So if they get a 30-minute lunch break, you can go ahead and say yes or no, I took this lunch break or not. You can set up pay defaults. Okay, so if they're an hourly employee, whatever pay defaults you have set for them is what they would see in the drop-down list. If you're tracking projects, profit centers, departments, locations, things like that, you can set those to show up on the time clock. You can force the employee to put in whatever information you want. If you want to leave that open and allow them to not put information in these extra fields, you can do that as well. Okay, and same with the notes field. So we've clocked in. Once the employee gets to the end of their shift, they would simply go ahead and clock out. All right, our next option here is activity. Okay, this is going to allow the employee to choose a date range and show their activity for that date range. Okay, so there are some different icons here. An icon that looks like a calendar is going to be vacation, sick time, PTO, any type of leave. The clock icon is going to tell you that the employee clocked in and clocked out. The employees also have an option to manually enter time. So the time clock can be used more as a time card rather than a time clock. If they use it in that respect, there would be no icon next to it. So that would just tell you that they manually entered saying, I worked 8 hours Monday, 8 hours Tuesday, so on and so forth. Right. The last little thing here, this audit log. So if the employee sees something changed, they can go ahead and click this audit log and it would show them if something changed, when it changed, what happened. Okay. So again, they can choose their date range here. The next tab, our next option here, history. We do keep a 3-month history in the time clock itself. Now, once the data is brought into CenterPoint, that history will be in there forever. But we do keep a 3-month history in the time clock itself, just in case the employee gets a check that they think is incorrect. They can go back up to 3 months and look at their clock in, clock out, see all the history there. Okay. Next tab here, time off requests. So we do allow the employee to request time off right through the time clock. They're going to go ahead and click new request. Okay. They can tell the software what type of leave it is, if they want a vacation or sick time. They can choose a date range. Okay, so maybe we want Friday off. If we choose all day, we would just type in the total hours. Okay, if this was for an appointment, a doctor appointment or something like that, maybe they wanted to take off from, whatever time. Say 8 o'clock or to 10 o'clock. Okay, and it will calculate the hours. So again, if they click all day, that's just going to go away. They type in total hours. Now, when the employee saves this, the supervisor is going to get either an email or a text in that correspondence, and they can choose what they want. They can choose if they want an email or if they want a text. In that correspondence, it's essentially just going to tell the supervisor that there is somebody that is requesting time off. The supervisor would then log in and go ahead and approve that time. Once that time is approved, the employee will get either an email or a text back, again, whatever they prefer, simply telling them that time off was approved or denied. If the time off is approved, neither the employee or the supervisor needs to do anything else. That time would show up just like any other activity right here with a vacation or whatever it was. Okay, so nobody needs to go in and manually enter that. Last tab here, audit log. Okay, again, this is just going to kind of show us what happened when they clocked in, when they clocked out for the specific date range that we've picked. and allow the supervisor. The supervisor would be able to go in here and approve. I'm sorry, the supervisor would be able to go in and audit anything. But again, this is just where the employee can see kind of what happened if things were changed or whatever else. Okay. All right, moving on from the time clock. The next piece of this is our published pay advices. So this would be if we are paying the employee by direct deposit, rather than printing their pay advice, we have an option to publish it to the employee portal. So the employee would click here, they would choose the year, and then they would see all of their pay advices that have been published for them. They can go ahead and click view. It will show their pay advice. It looks exactly like their pay advice would look had you printed it out for them. Okay, pretty straightforward there. Next option on the employee portal is our self-serve. So at this point, the employee can go ahead and edit their address, phone number, email, things like that. They can edit their W-2 for both federal and state, and they can also edit their direct deposit allocation. Now, if an employee does make a change here in the self-serve area, the next time that the payroll administrator goes into CenterPoint, they are going to get a pop-up, and that pop-up is going to say there are pending changes from the portal. So the software gives the payroll administrator an option to go ahead and look at those changes and see what they wanted to change and then either approve or deny them from there. So again, it's not going to go through automatically. The payroll administrator will have time to go to the employee and say, hey, this is the change that came through. What are you trying to do here? Is this what you were actually trying to accomplish? I just want to make sure before I push it through. Last piece of the employee portal is the quick links. I don't believe there's anything here. This is a sample database, so we don't have anything here, but this quick links would be a spot where your employer can put links to really anything they want. Okay, company correspondence, any benefit type information, so 401k, insurance, things like that.